spawned onto the map in 1981. I'm not one of the most experienced players, but I wanted to make a review or a tutorial here for you. I'm also going to share a few tricks on how you can hack the game. Closer to the end of the video, I'm going to share with you how to truly beat the game and get on the leaderboard. So basically, when you start the game Earth, you're dropped straight into the tutorial phase, and the developers call this childhood. And you learn the basics, how to interact, survive, and get by. But the thing is, this tutorial barely scratches the surface of what you'll need to know to play Earth really well and level up your character. In most games, when you choose a character, you get to break down all their strengths and weaknesses so you can plan accordingly. But in Earth, that is not how it works. The deep traits, the strengths, and the flaws of your character are kept hidden from you on purpose. You don't get any guide telling you what you're naturally good at or where you might struggle. And the developers designed it this way. You have to dig, you have to work, you've got to explore and understand who your character really is. And most players who play Earth spend their entire lives without ever fully knowing their character's true potential. And they get stuck playing Earth at the surface level, and they miss out on the depth that could change the way they experience the entire game. One of the goals that you get in the game is bringing new players into the game. My character recently committed to another character named Michelle, and we used the game mechanics and the in-game coins to bring another user into the game, and we named her Hannah, and she's just now starting the tutorial phase. And this is a hard mission, so I would wait until you think your character's ready, because the game mechanics make you literally walk the character all the way through the entire tutorial phase if you decide to make a new character. Even though they start going to a different map location where other characters are going to help them for like 8 hours a day. This is called school. So not all players get the same tutorial. Some get a pretty easy start, and some have to face some serious crap right from the beginning of the game. But no matter what kind of intro that you get, Earth hides a lot of key details from every character. And you might think you've got your strengths and weaknesses nailed down, but the truth is there's always more to uncover. There's abilities and traits that come to light through missions and unlocking new levels of Earth. So the true goal is to know your character really deeply. So the biggest mistake that players on Earth make is assuming that they know their character just because they've been playing it for a while. But if you really want to thrive, you've got to go deeper. Most people never reach this level of insight. They're too caught up in reacting to the game's weird randomness instead of taking the time to learn who their character is. The game developers didn't give you the answers up front, and they won't make it easy for you to find. But once you do, Earth upgrades from just a survival game into this badass quest of self-mastery with brand new level unlocks and a lot more coins after the upgrade. And then we have glitches. Here's one of the biggest things that nobody tells you when you start playing Earth. Your character is probably running way too many programs at one time. If you imagine having 50 tabs open on your browser all the time. So the game developers turned off the open programs alert by default, so most players don't even realize that it's happening. And these programs keep running in the background. They cause your character to lag, and they reduce our critical abilities, our focus, and our overall performance just goes way down. In Earth, these background programs could be anything from unresolved tasks, emotional baggage that your character tries to hold on to, distractions, or habits that just don't level up your character at all. And then we get into entropy. This is the silent killer. If you don't keep revisiting your systems, how you're earning in-game points and coins, and what you're focusing on and how you're playing, you're going to start trending toward entropy. And this is true for all video games. And entropy is the slow drift into chaos and disorder that stops your character from focusing on what really matters. So to beat entropy, you've got to study Earth. You have to study the mechanics of this game, its rules, its hidden systems, and the more you understand how the game really works, the better you can control your character's progress. But let's be very real here. Most players will not put in the time, which makes leveling up fairly easy compared to most games. And the good news for you is you don't have to do it alone. You can hire someone to hack your account for you. like a coach. Coaches have studied the game, they know the shortcuts and the hacks to get you back on track faster than if you try to just figure out the whole game by yourself. And another way to reset your character and close some of those open programs is by using certain glitches in the game. One of the most effective glitches might be psychedelics. And if your character is in a location where psychedelics are legal, you can find them in the in-game shop and trade some coins for them. The more programs you close and the better you manage entropy, the more you can level up, earn more coins, and do stuff that is fun. In Earth, there are 5 key mechanics that no amount of AI or any kind of automation can really take over. And these are the pillars of real success on Earth, and every character has to master them. So number 1 is connections and love. Building relationships with other characters is one of the most powerful mechanics in the game, and they're going to really pay off for you in the long run. The second one is production. So meaningful work is a core mechanic in the Earth game. And this isn't just about grinding for coins, it's about developing purpose. So what you produce, whether it's physical or intellectual or creative, gives your character a reason to keep playing the game. It's super important. Then we have number 3, which is mindset. How your character thinks is everything in this game. Your internal game is just as important as the external, and there's no AI that can replace your ability to grow and adapt mentally. So choose good missions and good quests to take your character on. And number 4 is your overall character health. Monitoring your character's health is super important for taking the game's quests on and challenges. And this isn't just about physical health, it's about keeping your character in the best shape mentally and emotionally, physically. They have a lot of crap that you have to monitor, but it's totally worth it. And a healthy character performs way better, making it easier to get success and earn coins in the game. But it does get tricky. The game is filled with instant pleasures that look like you're leveling up, but it gives you a placebo. And these are things that give your character a quick boost, but there's no long-term benefit. Enjoyment, on the other hand, comes from achieving meaningful goals and staying aligned with your purpose. So the final goal of the developers is to get you to understand the game. Like, what is the purpose of the game? And this is the meta mechanic of the game. So studying the game itself. The more you understand the rules, the mechanics, and how they interact, the better you're going to play this game. And you can't outsource this to AI. And it's the difference between just surviving in Earth and truly thriving and leveling up your character. In Earth, the real secret to enjoying the gameplay is designing your own quests. And of course, the developers have pre-built missions and quests that you can go on, and they're almost limitless challenges that keep you busy. But if you want to play like a pro, you need to take full control. The players that are famous for getting the most points in this game don't actually wait for the game to give them tasks. They make their own, and they shape how their character's story unfolds themselves. So Stephen Kotler, who's one of the characters in the game map right now, he wrote a tutorial called The Art of Impossible. He lays out a framework that's perfect for creating your own quests here on Earth. And you can think of these like custom missions that you get to choose rather than letting the game pick. So number 1 is curiosity. In Earth, it drives your character toward exploration and new levels. And the more you follow curiosity, the more unique and exciting your quests are going to get. If you ignore it, you're going to get stuck in a lot of predictable crap. The second is passion. This is your quest compass, guiding toward missions that matter. And when you connect what excites you with what you're good at, your custom quests get really easy to put together. And the third is purpose. So think of this like your ultimate quest line in the game. This is the legacy that your character is going to leave behind. Purpose-driven quests aren't just about completing tasks. They're about creating something meaningful in the game, something that allows other characters to level up themselves in a same or similar way. It's one of the ways that you can get the other players to put your character's name on crap all around the map, and they will talk about you after you exit the game. Then we have autonomy. Autonomy gives you control over your character's direction instead of accepting default quests handed to you. And then we have mastery. The more practice and refinement that you do to your skills, the more powerful your character gets. And this gives you tools to take on even more challenging quests, and it gives you more coins to use in the shops. And as a pro tip, build your quests that avoid your character's anti-vision. The dystopian future that you absolutely don't want in the game. Almost every player ignores this, and they never spend time to lay out the things that they do not want to occur. Once your quest is mapped out, it's time to build your mission goals, and you think of them as checkpoints along your journey. These goals become the specific tasks that your character is going to tackle and level up, and they'll keep you focused on what matters and keep out of distraction mode. But then when it comes to distraction mode, there's something called the NPC trap. The developers added a trick to convert real players into NPCs, which is non-playable characters. If you're not familiar with NPCs, they're basically the characters in video games that don't have any real control over their actions. They just kind of repeat these routines over and over without any purpose or growth, like a shopkeeper or something like that. In Earth, this trap is very real, and it's right in front of us. Every time that your character gets sucked into social media, spends hours doom scrolling, politics, and basically you let the character get consumed by whatever media is making them pay attention to, you're walking right into NPC territory. One of the other ways they do this is by convincing you to keep learning and gathering information by taking game tutorials and never using that information on quests. Lots of game tutorials out there. Most people don't use them. They get addicted to the game tutorials. The developers don't want every player reaching the higher levels of development, so they flood the entire game with these distractions, and they make sure a lot of characters never get past a certain point. It's pretty brilliant. They seduce people with the easy stuff, and before they know it, they've become an NPC, just following trends and distractions that are out there. So all characters are prone to this, so be careful if you decide to try out Earth. Here's the way to hack that. The more you force your character to focus on what really matters, your decade, your year, your monthly goals, the less likely you are to fall into this trap. So keep your eyes on the long term. You level up your character a lot faster, and you get to complete missions and quests instead of wasting your character in low energy loops. They use low energy because it conserves memory processing for the game. At this point, you start seeing how much of the game is designed to derail you and how many people around you are stuck in the loop. And the difference between a real player and an NPC is that the NPC reacts and the player chooses what they want to do. So most of them don't even realize that their character converted into an NPC because they've been programmed by the game to believe they're still playing, but they're stuck on autopilot. Some of the NPCs we need to harvest coins, but most of the distractions are there to get you to take on smaller missions and compare your character's stuff to other gear so that you'll spend coins upgrading your skins and all the other stuff. Once you reach the end of the game, you get access to this character grading system that the game uses, and the game judges you only while you're exiting, only when you're very close to exiting and leaving the game. You get judged on these 5 things. So here are the 5 secret things that the game is secretly rating you on to determine if you're gonna go up on the leaderboard. First thing is decision perspective, and it's love versus fear. This is the ultimate test in the game. Without ever telling you, the developers designed life on Earth to evaluate how often you can make choices rooted in love, empathy, connection, and compassion versus all those that are driven by fear, like self-protection and judgment and isolation. The highest rated characters navigate the game from love a lot more often, even when fear seems like a really easy pass. All right, so secret grading system number 2 is your connection to others. Points are scored for collaboration, deep understanding, forgiveness, the ability to dissolve the illusion of separation. And the strongest players understand that they're not competing, but are in this together. That's the ultimate trick, because when people think of the word game, they think they're in a game. They think that there's a winner and a loser, but that's the ultimate trick, is just getting this in your head and living that in your life. Next is your adaptability. The game is going to throw endless plot twists at you. There's going to be loss and failure, unexpected change. Those people who can learn and grow from adversity score a lot higher, and players who cling too tightly to control and resist change are going to lose points like crazy and not even know it. Next, we have authenticity. There is a hidden bonus for playing your character in alignment with who you truly are, and it's not about playing by society's rules or trying to achieve external success. The developers reward characters who are true to their inner voice, their passions, their purpose, which most people don't figure out until they're about to exit the game completely. And the final secret rating that you're going to get when you're near the exit of the game is contribution. Points are tallied up for how much you give back to the game world, and it could be through helping other characters, sharing knowledge, or leaving behind something that benefits future players. And basically, if you fix things for characters or improve the game map somehow, you get points for that. So remember, Earth is full of distractions and auto-assigned tasks that can keep you running in circles, but the best players zoom out. They set their course and take control of how their story ends. So it's your game, it's your rules. If you learn the game rules well enough, then you can break them. That's how you beat the game, and that's how you get on the leaderboards, by playing it on your terms. And don't forget, you can always reboot your character when things get tough with a psychologist character or one of the NPCs who will accept coins to fix some of your settings. And the cool thing about the game is you're never really stuck in a bad spot in Earth unless you choose to be. Overall, I'll give it 4.5 stars, and it's really fun. I'm still in the game right now as I'm making this video for other characters. If you focus on the points that we talked about to really, truly win the game. Here is one more photo of the other character I connected with and the new character that we brought into the game who's in the tutorial phase right now. Your points also come from whether or not these new characters build points too. So you'll get points based on that as well. If you're also in the main map, let me know, and maybe our characters will meet up with each other. So you made it to the end. Most people don't do that, so I know that you're most likely committed to learning these skills, and I'm willing to bet that you're one of the few people who realize that these skills determine true success, and they always have. If you want to level up your skill level and take it from a casual interest to a serious study, click the link in the description, and I promise what you'll see will blow your mind. So until next time, if you're subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really hope you got something impactful from this video, and I hope that your day is the most powerful and meaningful version of it that it can be. Take care.